Hey, here's one that I've been looking forward to for quite some time. It is one of the most expensive whiskeys I've ever bought, probably the most expensive Canadian whiskey I've ever bought. It is this one here. It is the Canadian Club Water, I think it's Water of Windsor, or anyway, it is Canadian Club Chronicles 43, the third edition. Chronicles first edition was 41 years old. Chronicles second edition was 42 years old, and this is Chronicles third edition, 43 years old. I will read what's on the box after I have gone in here and pulled out. Ooh, here we are. A fancy dark brown baggie. Yeah, it's all about the presentation here. And this here box has a magnetic top. And let's see now. Let's get this untied. And let's get the baggie open. And here is the bottle of Canadian Club Chronicles 43-year-old whiskey, bottled at 45% alcohol by volume, 750 mils. Let's get her open. And once I have done that, then I will be able to read what is on the bottle and what is on the box. Plastic stuff. Let's get the plastic stuff off of here so that we can get this fat cork open. It even has the rope around the neck. You can see the rope here. All kinds of fancy stuff. Okay. Get our plain ordinary Glencairn. Oh, come on, you. A soft pop. One wee dram. Close that back up. Now what does it say here? Issue number 3, the Speakeasy. During Prohibition, Canadian Club was the whiskey of choice in speakeasies based on its reputation for quality and authenticity. CC, the original club whiskey, creating memorable moments for over 160 years. The original club whiskey, Chronicles 43, distilled and bottled in Canada, 45% alcohol by volume, 750 mils. What's on this side? Tasting notes. I'll go through those later after I have tasted it. And then we'll see how close they are to what I get. What else does it say on the box here while we let this sit for a little while? Distilled and bottled in Canada, Canadian Club Whiskey Company, Walkerville, Ontario. Return for refund. Barcode. Chronicles, issue number 3. During Prohibition, the sale of alcohol was outlawed. Many bars and taverns were forced underground. This led to patrons who were planning a night out to whisper or speak easy about these establishments. It was Canadian Club that became the whiskey of choice in exclusive bars based on its reputation for quality and authenticity. In fact, CC became the #1 smuggled whiskey in the US and the original club whiskey in North America. With this third release, we celebrate a true original Canadian Club, creating memorable moments for over 160 years. I think I said that already once. The Speakeasy. Yep, issue number 3, 45%. We have to get to the price tag. That is important. Okay, let's see, we got our BC Liquor Store Premium Spirits release bill of sale here. Some good whiskeys in here, very good whiskeys. There it is. Canadian Club 43. $289.99. So what does that work out to? $289.99. So that's $29 liquor tax plus $14.50 goods and services tax plus $289.99 plus 10-cent bottle deposit, yes. $333 Canadian dollars and 59 cents out the door. $333. That is 1/3 of $1,000. This is not cheap. It is also fancy looking. Okay, let's put the magnifying glass away. Let's put this bill back for future reference because I'm going to be referring to this bill of sale again for a couple more whiskeys. Here's our Speakeasy Canadian Club Chronicles. Okay. First, I'm getting a little bit of marshmallows. I'm also getting some corn sweetness. I'm getting some light fruity notes as well as the corn sweetness. This may take some time to open up. This might not be satisfactory quite yet because I have had the Chronicles number 2, which was also expensive like this one. You know what? Maybe I should just put this one aside and come back to it later. I should maybe try another whiskey in between this one, between now and the rest of this one. So I'm going to go back to Sunday and do Sunday's whiskey right now. All right, so I went through Sunday's whiskey, and what a whiskey it was. It was the Redbreast 21, and it was amazing. It was fantastic. It exceeded all my expectations. I will get myself a bottle of that stuff because, you know, I even said in that video, which would be to you yesterday, that now I can die because I have experienced the ultimate whiskey for me. But I'm back to this one here. This is the 43-year-old Canadian Club Chronicles edition number 3. And it was topped by a coin from No Nonsense Whiskey, which was given to me personally, hand to hand, in Birmingham, England, by Vin PF. None other than Vin PF. There you go. What are we getting now? Now I put this one down because I wasn't really getting that much on the nose. I'm getting some corn sweetness, yes. I'm getting some, just a little bit of rye. But not as much as I was getting in the 42-year-old. The 42-year-old had more rye, which incidentally I liked. This has less of that rye note. I'm getting corn and alcohol. Now, I may have said in the video that went up yesterday that my nose is not operating at peak performance because I was exposed to a dog and I'm allergic to dogs. Yeah. Okay, so considering I paid $1/3 of $1,000 for this bottle, right now the nose is not doing it for me. I'm getting some corn sweetness and then some nothing. Now, Canadian Club, are you slouching? Or will this improve with time? Will this get better as it oxidizes? I did this already, I think. I think I got small droplets heading down, little trails of droplets from the top to the bottom. What do you see? Oh, little trails of droplets heading from the top to the bottom. No secondaries to speak of. It's like just little trails of droplets. That's it. And they're uniformly distributed around the glass. Some corn sweetness, a little bit of vanilla. This had better open up. Otherwise, I will be quite disappointed with it. $333. But I'll give it its fair shake. Some corn sweetness, a bit of vanilla. This had been sitting under the coin for about an hour. I'm going to give it my first taste. Oh. Creamy. Very creamy. That's a creamy little number. And you know what? I forgot a spoon. Okay. Now I see where this is going. It's intensely creamy. Maybe just a little bit of water, not too much. A couple of drops off my finger should be enough. Because this is quite an old whiskey. It might be delicate. The 2 drops of water might make it more creamy than it was earlier. What do we get on the nose again? On the nose, I'm getting just a bit of corn husks. Not much more than that. I don't think they added a lot to this one. The 41-year-old had a sherry had more sherry added to it, as per the 1/10 rule. Um, and the 42-year-old had some rye added to it, as per the 1 in 11th rule, or 1/10. I think it's 1 in 11. 0.09%, something like that. In Canadian whiskey, you're allowed to add 0.9% of something else to it and still call it what it is. Hope I'm making sense. Now, the little bit of water that I added, the couple little drops, is giving me less corn husk than I was getting before, but I'm getting a little more caramel and a little bit of vanilla. And when I took that first sip neat, it was very creamy. Oh, okay. It's very creamy. It's thick, creamy. Doesn't taste like much. A little bit of vanilla maybe, but the finish. Oh, now the finish comes out. Now I get a spicy rye finish, but it's not overdone. It's just spicy. It's you could say almost subtle. It's not an overpowering rye finish. There is rye in the finish. There's also custard in the finish. There is vanilla in the finish. Quite a bit of vanilla and custard. Vanilla custard. And the rye fades, leaving the vanilla custard to carry on with the rest of the finish after the rye spice has faded away. Oh, that's quite glorious. That is nice. I will do that again. It doesn't need any more water at 45%. It needs just a couple little drops. A couple little drops to a 50 mils. And that's enough. Any more, I think, would drown it. Good thing I didn't bring a spoon, eh? mm. Mm. Oh, this is nice. It's creamy and, dare I say, smooth. Then it gives you that vanilla and custard on the finish. And that subtle rye. It's not an overpowering rye. It's just a subtle little tingling rye on the front edge of the tongue, or at least the front edge of my tongue, which fades rapidly and just leaves custard and vanilla. Not a lot of caramel here. There's also a little bit of corn husks as it fades away. I'm not usually a fan of subtlety, but when something has been in a barrel for 43 years, I got to take the time and savor it. Now on the nose, I'm getting a little more caramel than I was getting before. I'm getting a little bit more rye spice than I was getting before. This one is finally opening up with 2 drops of water and over an hour sitting there in the glass. The changes are subtle, but they are there. Yes, if you are a fan of subtlety, this 3rd edition Chronicles Canadian Club 43-year-old will deliver subtlety. I'm the one who likes to get banged over the head by the different flavors. Give me something bold, give me something strong. And usually subtlety doesn't work on me very well. There are a lot of scotches that I just say, meh, there wasn't much there. But this one, if you give it an opportunity to open up, it will open up gloriously. What does our cheers box say? Cheers! I can't get better than that. Cheers!
Food Quig.
Food Quig.
Food Quig.
Food Quig.
Food Quig.
Yeah.
I did say that on the bottle there were some tasting notes, so I'm going to give them to you now. Whether or not they agree with what I said. Tasting notes for 43-year-old Canadian Club Chronicles 3rd edition. Aroma of toasted oak with hints of brown sugar. Huh? Rich notes of nutmeg spice balanced with a subtle sweetness and a touch of dried fruit. Really? I don't remember the nutmeg. I don't remember the brown sugar. I don't know. You try it for yourself and then you tell me.